Hello there. It's been a little while, hasn't it? Just a short 8 months. That's not very long, is it? No, we can look past it. Good. As you can tell by the title of this interview, this is the unreleased footage of the interview with Argonien that I did for the 5th Hack Jam for his game Fantariem. Which was a great game that I really enjoyed during the Hack Jam. And this was a great interview that I really enjoyed recording just after the Hack Jam that we never got around to releasing. And that's mostly due to burnout, I'm afraid. I simply fell off the curve of releasing stuff. There were other things that happened during that time. But it was, full disclosure, it was mostly burnout, I'm afraid. Of course, not that I didn't enjoy recording and releasing these. I don't know. I do not know what to tell you. That's just what happened. But hopefully I'm going to make up for it now. This is that footage I never released. I can talk more about the end. Once we get to the end, obviously, I can talk more. But for now, I think we should just get straight into it. This was an interview I really, really enjoyed. And I hope you guys enjoy it as much as I did. So I'll talk to you at the end, okay? So, I am joined by Argonien, creator of Fantariem. How are you doing today, buddy?
Moin, I'm doing very well.
Excellent, good to hear. So, gosh, how did it go? How did Hack Jam go for you? Are you happy with what you made?
For me, the Hack Jam was a bit all over the place because I had to do a bunch of stuff while doing the Hack Jam.
Okay.
Overall, I'm not completely disappointed in what I made, but I'm also not that quite happy in how it turned out, actually.
Oh, I see. Are there some things you wanted to put in that you were unable to, or are you just sort of maybe looking forward to the next part of this so you can clear some things up?
Mainly, my biggest problem is how a few things turned out not the way I wanted them to turn out.
Okay.
But I, in the end, didn't have that much time to fix these things. And if you remember, I submitted a few days early, so some people might think I would have had enough time, but unfortunately, due to university and the beginning of the exam phase, I didn't have that much time anymore.
I see. That is a great shame. But life comes for us all, doesn't it? Unfortunately.
Yeah. Also doesn't help that I was moving during the beginning of this Hack Jam.
Oh goodness, were you?
Yeah.
Oh, that must have been a hassle. Dear me. See, maybe you had a bit less time than everyone else. That's a great shame. But I think considering that you really did release a very complete product, I think you should be really proud of what you managed to do, regardless.
It is. You could call it complete. There's still a lot of unanswered questions regarding the story.
Oh yeah, but that'll come in the next part. I wasn't saying I expected the story to wrap up. The narrative certainly hasn't wrapped up. But if you take this as like a standalone game, if you pretend this is a second game in a series of 3, then it's still a well-rounded story. It's got everything. It feels like it said everything it wanted to say for the part that it was, if that makes sense.
It does, and I'm glad you can look at it that way. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. So this whole story, I assumed it was 3 parts. Is it going to be 3 parts, or is it going to be more than that even?
It's probably going to be 3 parts.
Okay, so it's a trilogy in that way then. When do you think the next one might come out?
That is a good question. I haven't thought about that yet because I do still have a lot of other stuff that I need to finish first.
Certainly.
Yeah, so a lot of uni stuff, some personal stuff that I have to get done.
Oh yes,
and some projects with other ROM hackers.
Of course, yeah. Cool. No, there's absolutely no rush. Of course, we want it to be the perfect package, rather than I don't want you to feel as though you're being rushed on this. Certainly. So this whole story, though, where did the inspiration for this whole thing come from?
I mean, the general inspiration for Fantasime and Fantariem is basically based in mental illness.
Right.
Because, I mean, you can see probably a few parallels between Fulvia and a schizophrenic person.
Certainly.
Yeah. So this is basically the main inspiration I took. I looked up some medical papers for schizophrenia. Read how it generally plays out, and packed that into a hack.
Interesting.
Try to make a rather interesting story around it, having some comedic relief with the town characters in between.
Mm-hmm. Is that is that a field that you've always had interest in telling a story about then? Sort of mental health and things like that?
I think it's more a field that is easy for me to tell a story in.
Okay.
Because I do have I do have some experiences with people who have not schizophrenia, but are do have mental. Can you say conditions?
I don't actually know.
I mean,
I know what you mean though. I know what you mean though. So we'll leave it at that. Certainly. Okay. Interesting. So is this story then all going on inside Fulvia's mind then, or are there actually outside forces that are currently working on her during the course of the story, or is it entirely in her mind?
I'm saying not entirely. I mean, Fantasime was mostly, almost entirely in her mind.
Right.
But the events that are shown during Fantariem do have some real-world correlation, I think it is. Like, some things do only happen in the mind during that game, but other things do happen in the quote-unquote real world there.
Okay. Cool. Okay, interesting. So would you say it's about like maybe 70-30 in her mind outside influence, or maybe 50-50, 60-40?
I mean, I don't have any numbers right now. I don't actually know the amount.
I wasn't expecting to. Don't worry. I'm just interested.
Yeah, no. I mean, considering the impact of the things that do happen in the real world, I would say you could look at it like a 50-50 thing.
Okay, cool. Interesting. So the townspeople are one of the, I think, highlights of your hack. I know most of them don't exist as far as I understand, but I think they're really funny. Which one is your favorite one to write for?
Probably the duo of Saucebug and Wooloo.
Yeah.
Because I just like those two.
Yeah, they're always very funny.
Always angry at each other, you know. One has a German accent, and one is just completely emotionless because he has no portraits, and
he doesn't need them to express everything he needs. Excellent.
True. I mean, also the game does make fun of it a bit that he doesn't show emotions, but yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Cool. So these townspeople, did they ever exist? Is my question. Did they? Are they entirely like conjured up by Fulvia, or are they maybe something in her past? Are they sort of like memories of people she used to know?
They did exist, yes.
Okay.
But how they ended up or what exactly happened to them is a thing I want, for now at least, to leave up to imagination. Actually,
ooh, okay.
Like a lot of parts of the game is specifically designed to do exactly that. Like thinking of what happened next, what is the cause for this and that, you know.
Yeah, it's. I think it's like a really, it's like a 3-part mystery, sort of, in a way. It's sort of setting up what this history was with Fulvia, and
kind of like indirect storytelling, you could probably call it.
Yeah, certainly. Cool. So the dungeons in your hack, some of them seem pretty normal, and some of them, like Art's Cave, don't seem pretty normal. Where did the inspiration for Art's Cave come from, and how did you go about making it?
I mean, Art's Cave, like the bug that's used in the engine to make Art's Cave, was originally discovered by Esbig, and you see, I saw that thing, figured then out in an attempt to fix it on what causes it. And I just thought, well, that would be fucking interesting in a hack, so I decided to put it inside. And I mean, it of course really fit the whole hack, the whole story.
Certainly. Yeah, I mean, it was a massive highlight of Fantariem, especially, I think. Did that idea for like, oh, this would be a really cool dungeon, did that come before you got the idea for Fantariem and Fantariem, or did it come during that making process?
I mean, the idea to actually put it in a dungeon was while I was making Fantariem.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, I've got many theories about what's actually going on in Fulvia's head. Obviously, I won't ask you to confirm or deny any of them. Will there be... What I want to know, though, is that will there be a happy ending at the end of part 3? Do you think everything will come up roses in the end?
That is actually not decided yet.
Ooh.
Nah, I mean, I'm thinking about if I should give it a actually definitive set ending, or if I should do it the same way as I did with Fantariem and Fantariem before and have a split ending.
Oh, I see. Yeah, have an open ending, or player's choice sort of thing again.
Yeah, like you could take this decision and go to the good ending of this decision and bring everything down.
Ah, yes. I love that in games. Feeling guilty about seeing all the endings. Good stuff. Love that. Thank you for this opportunity. Cool. So, have you been working on the second part, Fantariem, for a while now? Were you working on it before this fifth hack jam started, or did you start when the theme was announced? After you moved, obviously.
I had some general plot points laid out for Fantariem that I wanted to put into a hack, but the actual making of the story was announced was made after the theme and gimmick was announced.
Okay.
And surprisingly, it fit really well to what I was planning anyway. So, well, that worked out good.
Excellent. Did anything change though when you saw the theme? Did you have to? Well, I suppose not have to, but did you get the idea to change anything that was in formulation when you saw the theme come out?
I don't think... I'm pretty sure I didn't change anything. I mean, most of the story was done while I was making the hack anyways. The usual way I do these hacks is I have my major plot points that I want to reach.
Right.
And the path to get to these plot points is just made while I'm scripting this whole this hack.
Okay.
So there probably would have been a few things different if I wouldn't have been needing to include a certain gimmick or something.
Okay.
Or in this case, this gimmick that I'm meaning. Probably would have been a bit different, some backgrounds and some stuff, but in general, I think it would have been the same.
Cool. Okay. Cool. Now, I mean, there were a lot of interesting additions in this one. There was quite a few mini games. There was the making of the Flammkuchen. Am I pronouncing that correctly? I hope I am.
It's a Flammkuchen.
Flammkuchen. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah, that's better.
I'm fluent in German. Look at me. Where did you get the? I mean, yeah. Why Flammkuchen? Why that particular meal?
Mainly because it's a very, very easy dish to make, so it could have been easily done inside a game without having like a over-the-top menu and with like thousands of options and such.
Yeah.
And I took the inspiration to make it actually into a game from the cooking video I made on my YouTube channel. For those who are listening and don't know, I also play these hacks on YouTube. And I sometimes make cooking videos in between. One of these cooking videos was about Flammkuchen.
Excellent. Are you big on cooking then? Do you like to cook a lot of different meals?
Yes, I do actually. Like I have like a whole shelf just filled with various spices and sauces from different parts of the world. It's I do enjoy cooking quite a bit.
Excellent. What does Flammkuchen taste like? I Can't even.
What does Flammkuchen taste like? Like pizza dough.
Yeah.
It's like a very, very thin pizza dough covered with like a kind of a bit of a sour cream.
Okay.
Like a bit of garlic, a bit of herbs in there,
Ooh.
and then just some onions and some bacon bits. I think it's what you call it in English, sprinkled on top. Yeah,
Nice.
and that's just basically then put into a oven usually, or over an open fire at like a very, very high heat.
Yeah.
Just for a few minutes in there, so that it starts to turn brown on top and on the bottom, and well, then you take it out, and it's quite delicious. Yeah.
Goodness, listen to Argonian Ramsay over here. That's amazing. It sounds like a simple dish, but I'm sure it's delicious.
I mean, it is a very simple dish. This
I thought that
a dish that was done like in the, I think in the 18th century from the
oh really,
quote unquote peasants.
Oh.
I'm just gonna call it now. Yeah, just basically, these people didn't have a lot of money, and they just made that because it was easy, fast, and cheap.
Yeah, well,
and it still is today.
I mean, that's how a lot of different meals came about. Stir fry, pancakes. There's a lot of. We're just talking about food history now, but but no, I thought that was a really interesting and fun mini game. I certainly wasn't expecting it, but I really enjoyed it. Do you think you'll make? I mean, it's just an idea. Do you think you'll make like a cooking simulator in PMD sort of game? I thought that might be quite fun.
I mean, I could definitely, but I'm missing one thing to do that, and that is a patch to control to like check for touchscreen inputs, which I know that Irquia uses in this. What was it? Was it the April Fool's update for Fragments, or the April Fool's version of Fragments? I think.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, like the recent Fragments thing that came out uses that, if I'm not completely mistaken, and it's in Mystery Mail 3.
Ooh, I see. Okay, cool. So
this exists, but of course it's not public yet, and so yeah.
I see. Okay, well, maybe someone can get on that and help you out, because then they can get Cooking Simulator Pokemon. That would be amazing. Pokemon Cooking Simulator. I messed up the title. I apologize. There were a lot of other mini games in this though as well. Other than the cooking, there was also the key lock picking thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was fun. Where did the idea for that come from, and how difficult was that to implement?
I mean, where the idea comes from is answered with the one simple sentence. I'm the lock picking lawyer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but that's originally where it came from, because you see, sometimes you just see some random video from it on YouTube, and I just thought, why not do that?
Okay.
And in terms of how difficult it was, I mean, it was less difficult to make than the cooking minigame. It was actually the hardest thing in the entire game to make.
Oh, the cooking was? Goodness.
Yeah, because it's using I think around 50 variables. That can be set in between. So it's the whole script is an absolute mess.
Yeah. It does sound very tough.
The lockpicking thing is the way it works is basically you have this moving pointer on top, right?
Yeah.
And it moves to set positions, sets a crystal color flag, and then moves forward, sets another one, and just goes back and forth doing that. And when you press A, it checks if this flag is if the correct flag is set for you to hit a pin. And if it is, then of course it hits a pin. If it doesn't, then it hits like the water thing between it. Yeah. And as you may have experienced, it is a bit wonky because I think it's checking like every 3 or 4 position, like X coordinate intervals. So it's a bit finicky here and there, but it works.
Okay, well, I wasn't going to say anything, but so those are your words, not mine. Excellent, about how wonky it is. Good stuff.
It is very wonky.
There was also a QuickTime section at the end. And obviously I'm a master video game player, so I did it first time without any problems. Could you tell me?
Yeah, it's really not difficult.
What happens if you I should really have gone and tested this myself. But what happens if you fail that? I don't actually know.
If you fail that, then you get a bad ending. Actually,
Oh really? Oh, I should.
yeah.
I should have
If you
gone and
fail
done that
that,
myself.
if you fail that, I mean, it's not any longer than when you win. It's basically just you get called out for even failing that simple thing, like the battle for your own mind, you know. And well, then it just ends with a credit screen where Fulvia is walking forever on a black background, having like different expressions for some different imagine English, man. Different things that she's imagining while going through there. Yeah,
cool.
Like some sweat drops flying, some laughing. You know.
Yeah. How many hits do you have to take before you fail? Is it 3?
3. Yeah.
3. Okay, cool. So it's an even fight, as they say.
Yeah. But that thing was also a pain to code because the actual movement code and all that is done inside a targeted routine, as well as keeping track of hits, because I can't do that in the main routine because that's running the check input status script permanently. And it doesn't help that like half of the script engine commands do not work in the in targeted routines.
Oh, okay. That sounds like a pain, yeah. Goodness.
It was. That's also why it is quite easy to win, because the actual point where it should check for damage is like it takes so long to check all those variables inside the targeted routine that it just delays that whole thing.
Right. I see. Okay, cool. Well, I still thought it was really fun and dramatic as well. So, very good job making all of that. Speaking of Purloin for a moment, I feel like Delphox as a Pokemon is chosen for a very good story reason. But I'm struggling to figure out why Purloin was chosen as the sort of the secondary protagonist or antagonist. Can you go into some depth as to why you chose Purloin as the antagonist for this series?
I chose Purloin because I wanted to have a newer gen Pokemon in there.
Okay.
Besides, of course, Delphox.
Yeah.
And I do really like the portraits of Purloin. The expressions Purloin has on these portraits.
They're really well made.
They just fit to like some medical, like mentally insane, you could almost call it, Pokemon, which I think just does fit really well.
Yeah, I
mean,
agree.
there's also a single reference with Purloin itself that I think nobody has actually gotten yet, which is the category. They do have like categories in the stat screen, right?
Yeah.
Where it says that Delphox is the Screamer Pokemon and that Purloin is the Healer Pokemon.
Okay.
That is actually a reference to PMD&D. Most people probably don't know that game anymore.
Oh, really? Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, because I think it's not available anymore.
Ah, that's a shame.
I'm pretty sure it isn't. So yeah, that's that. But that's been in there since like Fantariem.
Cool. I think that's brilliant. I like it a lot. When you finish the third part, if and when, will you release all of this together in one bundle, or will you still keep them in these sort of 3 parts? Will you release a complete edition?
The problem with putting all those 3 together is already one is coded in US and one is coded in EU.
Ah, okay.
There is probably a way. I mean, of course, there is a way, but it's just a lot of work.
Yeah.
I mean, it should probably be possible, but then again, it's going to be a lot of work with keeping track of variables because I'm using a whole bunch of them.
Yeah, you might run out if because there's only a set amount of variables in SkyTemple.
Yes, that's actually why I got a patch from Adex to store variables in the rescue team structure.
Oh, really?
Which allows me to have, I don't know how many exactly there are now, but I think it's 256 variables per hex address, and it's like, I mean, it's over 100 hex addresses, definitely.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of variables you can take, but it's all just running with special processes, meaning you need to make you need to code it a bit different than you would normally do with the normal game variables, because you can't put a special process into a like an if function. You have to always work with switch statements.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it sounds like it probably will be a lot of work if you want to release it as a complete edition then. So
yeah, but it's not impossible. Let's just say that.
Okay. So it might happen, but you'll make no promises, I suppose.
Yeah.
Cool. So you mentioned the hardest part of the hack to make was the cooking section. What would you say was the easiest part of this hack to make for the hack jam?
The easiest part.
What went smoothly like butter?
The overworld, actually.
Oh, really?
The overworld is the overworld itself is, in general, a lot of typing, like a lot of code that it needs to run or to run smoothly.
Okay.
But it's code that is pretty straightforward to write.
Right, I see. Okay. So yeah, it takes a while, but you don't have any problems while you do it.
Not really, no. It's basically just, I mean, the only problem I had this time was that I was hitting the actor or object limits constantly, which caused some things to deload, some things you might have seen it during the later phase where you run around during the burned Fantariem.
Yeah.
Some buildings deload when they're just still in range.
Yeah, I think I did have that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a problem because the object sprites are too big, so they get so the center gets out of the screen before the whole thing actually is outside of the screen, so it gets de-rendered.
I see.
I counteracted a bit for that in the way that I split most of these buildings up into multiple parts, multiple single objects.
Okay.
But I couldn't do it any further to to have less of a deloading thing going on, because the limit on objects was hit and things started to not load anymore at all.
Yeah, goodness. So there's
the game does soft lock. That's also
yeah. So there's just no good way out. That's a pain. I mean, I obviously my hack isn't complete or anything, but I'm having a similar problem with just making like big towns with a lot of people in. And you just find that I just hit the object limit all the time. It's a pain.
Yeah, it surprisingly happens very fast.
Yeah, it's surprisingly restrictive, isn't it? But I suppose DMD never really did have any big towns. It was always split in half by that barrier on the bridge.
True. And they did a lot in the background itself, which I as well, for me, couldn't do it because my background is like a few chunks from the absolute limit you have to import as a 2-layer background.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. It really is so difficult to get backgrounds correct, isn't it? Cool. So that was the easiest part then. So when we get to the end of the hack, and we see the credits and Delphox walking down that pathway, and then afterwards we have that section where we get to put in a name. And then there's the personalized ending for whoever played it. How many of those did you make? How many did you put in?
There's, of course, all of the jury members.
Goodness, all of them.
As usual, pandering to the jury. I mean,
that's valid. That's valid.
Okay. Then a few other things and just some random stuff is inside there. You could open the ROM and actually export the patch that checks for these names. There's like a whole list that just displays the names.
Okay.
that are all valid.
I might look into that. That's very interesting. I want to see all of them because I just think they were I just thought that was such a nice touch. I just thought it was such a, just such a unique and pleasant idea. I really, really enjoyed it. I don't want to say that was my favorite part when I was pounded to because that would be bad, but I did really enjoy that. So thank you for that little section.
It also gave me the opportunity to put an actual Maschinengewehr 42 into the hack, which I will probably never have the opportunity to do that again.
Certainly. So you mentioned at the start of the interview that you didn't manage to get everything in that you wanted to get in, or it was something to that effect. So if you had like a week more, or you didn't have to have uni life or anything like that, what would you have done differently if you had time?
I would have continued the whole story to a further point. Yeah.
Okay. How much further do you think you would have gone?
Probably not that much further, because the next part that that is like planned to happen needs a lot of custom background art, and that takes just a fuck ton of time.
I see.
It's yeah.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's a bit of a sneak peek as well. We're going to be going somewhere completely new in the next part. That's very exciting.
Probably not completely new, but definitely a different environment. Let's just call it that. A different environment.
Okay. Yeah. That's just as exciting. So I'm looking forward to it. So did you, when you realized that you wouldn't have a huge amount of time, did you have to scale anything down then? Were there cutscenes in the works that you had to sort of cut, or any other mini games or anything like that?
Fortunately not.
Okay. That's good.
Did have that at some when English, yes. When testing out the cooking minigame, I have a similar layout already in a different ROM that I'm testing stuff on.
Okay.
And there the biggest problem was that this game constantly got soft locked and had some RAM some VRAM problem, I think, because the screen just English kept on getting distorted. I don't know what fixed it in the end, but I think it hasn't happened to anyone yet. So that's good.
Cool. Okay. Excellent. So this next part, you're probably excited to get to it, but as you said, you might be busy with other projects for a while. This next hack jam that's coming up, probably around the end of autumn. I don't know exactly when these things are.
I would probably say it's going to be next year, actually.
Because
we're pretty late on. Yeah, the last one before. Hack Jam 4 was in around October, if I'm not mistaken, last year. So we did took a long time for to announce this 5th Hack Jam. So it's either gonna be like early 2024, I think, or maybe very late 2023. Okay,
cool. Look, you know more about this than I do. That's fair enough. I haven't been here for quite as long as you have, I don't think. So
I've been since the first one I've been on there.
Yeah. Are you excited for the next hack jam then?
Yeah, definitely.
Do you think you'll do more of this storyline, or do you think you'll do a completely separate original thing for the next hack jam if you participate?
It depends on if I have time to work on a team, because this time, of course, I got asked from Team Stardust, but I had to decline because I wasn't sure how in what capacity I could do it regarding time.
Okay.
So I didn't want to have like a whole team project being not released for the hack jam because I didn't have any time,
I see. Yeah.
So that basically depends on how much time I will have during the next hack jam.
Okay, cool. But are you excited for it though? Are you looking forward to me making something new for that as well?
Yeah, sure.
Cool. Lovely. So, Argonien, why will Fantariem win Hack Jam 5?
It won't.
Oh,
I'm serious. No, let me explain. You see, Fantariem does do some things well, it does things not as good as Fantasime did them, because it's missing the like quote unquote shock factor of using an actual glitch, in-engine glitch for its work,
Right.
and the technical things that I did in Fantariem are done by other hacks, this hack gem, in a better way, I think. So
Argonien.
yeah, and that's basically the only thing I could have maybe won, because narrative, there are way better hacks out there.
Okay,
and
Argonien.
art-wise, look at Seal of the Ancients.
No, shh, buddy. Argonien, repeat after me. Fantariem will win because
Fantariem will absolutely not win.
No. You did. You made a mistake. I'm afraid that's not quite the words I was saying. Try again.
Fantariem will win.
Hell yeah! Because
yeah.
And then you fill in the blank.
I don't know. I seriously don't know what's outstanding about it currently. With all the beautiful hacks we got this hack gem.
Well, don't worry about the other hacks. Don't worry about them at all. Pretend you're the only applicant. You know, what are you proud of about what you've submitted? That's all you need to say. You can just list anything that you think is really good about what you've done.
Probably the mini games, yeah.
Hell yeah. Anything else? Because I know for a fact there was more to your game than just the mini games.
I mean, for me, as the one who made it, this is like the only thing I would consider very outstanding about it.
Oh, you don't be like that. Okay, let me list some things. How about then? Allow me to do the honors. I thought the overworld was great. I thought the characters in it were amazing. I love the unfolding mystery plotline. I think the glitch horror is not personally to my taste, but I think it's done really well. So I'm sure someone out there absolutely loves it. And yes, I did think the mini games were great as well.
All right, that's good.
Cool. Well, I answered my own question for you, but don't worry about it. That's fine. Sincerely though, I do hope you're proud of what you've made, because I think you've done really, really well. And I'm really looking forward to whatever you make next, and I certainly am looking forward to the next part. So very well done. Do you have any closing statements? Because we're getting towards the end of the interview now, but do you have anything else you want to say to the community or about your hack or anything?
Well, in general to the community, I do hope you all enjoy the hacks we put time in for you all to enjoy.
Excellent, I'm sure they are.
And yeah, that's about it. I hope you all enjoyed it. And enjoyed watching this beautiful interview, of course. Considering we are still on YouTube, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, write a comment. You know, it's YouTube.
That's yes. Hit that like button. I'm sure everyone hates me for saying that now. Cool. Thank you so much for this.
Subscribe to the channel, or I will take your liver.
I'm not with him. Cool. Thank you so much for doing this interview, Argonien. I really, really appreciate it, and thank you so much for coming along.
Right. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, okay. I'll speak to you some other time, okay? Maybe when the next part comes out, all right?
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Right, well, I hope you enjoyed that interview as much as I did. I really do regret not releasing it when I said I would, because, I mean, again, it was very well deserved, I think. Right, I said I'd talk at the end, so here goes. First of all, I want to wish everyone luck in the upcoming Hack Jam 6. That's how late this video is. It's inside the next Hack Jam. Right now, Hack Jam 6 is going on. I, myself, will be participating, so let's just say you have some competition. No, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm really looking forward to releasing the game I'm making, along with a couple of others. I could announce my team name here. This might be a good moment to announce my team name. Nah, I'll leave it. Oh, that's mean of me. Oh, I'm gonna leave it. But no. When the goodness gracious, when the hacks for Hack Jam come out, I am going to be playing them all on my Twitch once again. Playing through all of them, and then probably just stopping streaming again. I don't know why I do this to myself, but I do. But I'll put all that footage on YouTube. I did manage to get all of them up for the last Hack Jam, so I will do so again this year. I'm hoping we get another 20 hacks. That would be loads of fun. I hope you will join me for playing through those as well. I don't think I'll be doing interviews for everyone. I might do some interviews, but it depends entirely on how I feel. And who's up for it, that sort of thing. For instance, like last year, the winner was Juanma, as we know, for Cursler, and I never interviewed him, and I think I personally believe that was to be a great shame, but he didn't want to, so that's fine. So we'll see what happens for this Hack Jam. Again, I'm looking forward to it, and I wish best of luck to everyone who is going to be releasing hacks for the Hack Jam. As for anything else, is there anything else? There's no... Obviously, there's usually at the end of these interviews, I would announce who is in the next interview, but there is no next interview. I did do a written interview with the people who made Nimble's story that I never released. I still have all of that writing written down, and I could release that in some capacity. I don't really know what that would be. But if people want it, then I certainly can. So comment below if you want me to release that. For now, though, I'll let you go. Thank you so much for everyone who's had patience with me over the past 8 months in not releasing this. Thank you, and apologies again to Argonien for not releasing this for the past 8 months. But this community, this SkyTemple community, really is just amazing. So I have nothing but love and adoration for everyone involved. So you make me really proud. You make me really proud to be part of this, even though I'm more part of it in the sense that I text random things and I'm annoying every now and then. But yes, anyway, I'll good luck again to everyone in Hack Jam. I've said that 3 times now. But I'll speak to you guys again then. Okay, goodbye everyone. Have a great day.